What is down, everybody? It is your main course, a little pancake, and welcome back to another video where we're gonna learn yet again. Today we're learning about, I guess, kind of a broad topic that we've never discussed before. We're learning about an animal, more specifically a fish, more specifically an ocean sunfish. I'm gonna show you a picture of that right now. Kaboom! There he is. That's the ocean sunfish. You may be looking at this like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Or you may be like, is that an alien species? It might be. We'll get into that. But I can remember as like a small child, like this big of a child, I heard about this fish in school somewhere along the lines, and they were like, oh yeah, here's this fish, it's really cool. Anyway, and then nobody ever talked about it again. And I was thinking yesterday about something to do a video, and I was like, I should do something on like a cool animal. There's a lot of cool animals out there. And then this guy popped into my mind. I was like, oh yeah, that exists. Let's learn about that, because I actually don't know anything about it. We've got good old Wikipedia up, as you know. I have to make a formal apology. Didn't even think about this, but I've been blinding you all. Anybody in the dark of the night, I've been blinding, and I apologize for that. Let's get into it. The ocean sunfish. This article is about the ocean sunfish. Yep, that's why I clicked on it. Thank you, though. The ocean sunfish, or common mola mola, that's its scientific name, is just mola, which is pretty funny, is one of the largest bony fish in the world. It was misidentified as the heaviest bony fish, which was actually a different species, Mola alexandrini. Adults typically weigh between 247 and 1,000 kilograms, which is 545 to 2,205 pounds. That's big. That's over a ton of weight in the ocean, swimming around. That's wild. The species is native to tropical and temperate waters around the world. It resembles a fish head without a tail, and its main body is flattened laterally. Sunfish can be as tall as they are long when their dorsal fins and ventral fins are extended. It's like a flat guy, but it's not a horizontal flat, it's a lateral flat, which is pretty cool. Sunfish are generalist predators that consume largely small fish, fish larvae, squid, and crustaceans. See, because I was honestly thinking they were going to be vegetarians. That wouldn't make much sense, though. I don't know why that thought was in my mind. I was just like, big animals usually don't eat like other big animals. Like if you're thinking land-wise, you know, like elephants are herbivores. Hippopotamus is an herbivore, you know, stuff like that. A moose, that's a big animal. Anyway, sea jellies and salps. What is a salp? Oh, planktonic tunicate. Once thought to be a primary prey of sunfish, make up only 15% of the sunfish's diet. Females of the species can produce more eggs than any other known vertebrate, up to 300 million at a time. What? 300 million eggs. That's wild. Sunfish fry resemble miniature pufferfish with small pectoral fins, a tail fin, and body spines, uncharacteristic of adult sunfish. There was a picture of that. Yeah, right here. Here's a little baby sunfish. 300 million eggs. That's insane. I can't get over that. Didn't know that, and now we do. So now, you're in a conversation with somebody, and they bring up fish. You could be like, did you know that the ocean sunfish produces 300 million eggs at a time, which is the most among any vertebrate? Adult sunfish are vulnerable to few natural predators. Well, if you weigh 2,000 pounds, it's gonna be hard to get you. Sea lions, killer whales, and sharks will consume them. Sunfish are considered a delicacy in some parts of the world, including Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. In the European Union, regulations ban the sale of fish and fishery products derived from the family Molidae. Sunfish are frequently caught in gill nets. Oh, that's sad. I'm guessing they're in like every ocean, because it said temperate and tropical waters around the world. I guess that would include Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean, and all of them, except for maybe the Arctic Ocean. Maybe not that one. So Japan, Korea, Taiwan, they're eaten. I mean, that's a lot of meat on an animal. Like, you think of 2,000 pound animal, that's a lot of meat. You could feed a small village for like a couple of weeks with that much. But then here comes Europe, at it again, messing things up for everybody. I'm just kidding. It says right here actually that they're vulnerable, so we probably should. Europe, this might be a first, but Europe actually might be in the right here. It's also sad that they're caught in gill nets because a lot of fish caught in gill nets die, like before the fisherman comes back and retrieves them, which is not great. A member of the order Tetraodontiformes, which also include pufferfish, porcupine fish, and filefish. The sunfish shares many traits common to members of this order. The ocean sunfish mola mola is a type species of the genus. What is a type? A type species is the species name with which the name of the genus is considered to be permanently taxonomically associated. Alright, naming and taxonomy. Many of the sunfish's various names allude themselves to its flattened shape. Its scientific name, mola, is Latin for millstone, which the fish resembles because of its gray color, rough texture, and rounded body. Its common English name, sunfish, refers to the animal's habit of sunbathing at the surface of the water. Imagine you're at the beach, right? And you decide, you know what, we're gonna do something cool today. We're gonna rent some kayaks. And we're just gonna kayak around the beach, and just hang out. I know this wouldn't happen because they live in deep water, but we just hang out and and you're just paddling along and you see this thing that's like huge, right? Laying on its side, sunbathing. That would be so cool. I need like a scale as to how big these things are, because like once you get over like 200 pounds, I can't really I can't put a scale with it. You know what I mean? Its common names in Dutch, Portuguese, French, Spanish, Catalan, Italian, Russian, Greek, Hungarian, Norwegian, and German, oh my, mean moonfish. It's reference to its rounded shape. In German, the fish is also known as schwimmender Kopf, or swimming head. That's kind of cool. It does just kind of look like a head. Okay, Chinese tradition, or translation, toppled wheelfish. That's kind of cool. That's kind of creative. Good job, China. Gonna be one of the few times I say that. The ocean sunfish has various superseded binomial synonyms and was originally classified in the pufferfish genus as Tetraodon mola. It is now placed in its own genus, Mola, with 3 species, Mola mola, Mola tecta, and Mola alexandrini. The common name sunfish, without qualifier, is used to describe the marine family Molidae and the freshwater sunfish family Centricidae, which is unrelated to Molidae. On the other hand, the name ocean sunfish and mola refer only to the family Molidae. The family Molidae belongs to the order Tetraodontiformes, which include pufferfish, filefish. It shares many traits common to members of this order, including the 4 fused teeth that form the characteristic beak and give the order its name, tetraphoroidous tooth, and form a shape. Indeed, sunfish fry resemble spiky pufferfish, but more than they resemble adult mollusks. Interesting. So like the main thing is its little beak here. You can see its beak right there. Pretty epic. There's the fry again. 1 millimeter. It's crazy to me how much these things grow. Because like that's what, 3 millimeters by 3 millimeters? That's like really small, and then they get to be 2,000 pounds. That's just crazy to me how rapidly they grow. I don't know how long they live though. The caudal fin of the ocean sunfish is replaced by a rounded clavus, creating the body's distinct truncated shape. The body is flattened laterally, giving it a long oval shape when seen head-on. The pectoral fins are small and fan-shaped, while the dorsal fins and the anal fin are lengthened, often making the fish as tall as it is long. Specimens up to 3.3 meters in height have been recorded. Wow. 10 feet, 10 inches tall. That's like... it's taller than my room. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my ceiling's only 8 feet tall, so that's like... holy crap. The mature ocean sunfish has an average length of 1.8 meters, 5 feet 11 inches, and a fin-to-fin length of 2.5 meters, 8 feet 2 inches. The weight of mature specimens can range from 247, yep, we already read that, but even larger individuals are not unheard of. The maximum size recorded is 10 foot 10 inches, 3.3 meters long, and a weight recorded is 2,300 kilograms, 5,100 pounds. That's insane, dude. In the water, too, like just floating around, just hanging out. What a complex organism, man. Like how like, dude, the active transport going on just to send stuff around is crazy. The spinal column of M. mola contains fewer vertebrae and is shorter in relation to the body than that of any other fish. Although the sunfish descended from bony ancestors, its skeleton contains largely cartilaginous tissues. So that's like your nose is cartilage, you know, like a shark is all cartilage, which are lighter than bone, allowing it to grow to sizes impractical for other bony fish. Its teeth are fused into a beak-like structure, which prevents them from being able to fully close their mouths, while also having pharyngeal teeth located in the throat. Oh, I hate those. Oh, I hate those so much. Like the teeth in the throat of like fish, or like eels have it a lot. Of like a second set of teeth down in the throat, and that makes me so uncomfortable. I hate it. It's also really weird that like they just don't have many bones. Like you can see in the little skeleton here, like its bone structure is really weird. Like all of this fin stuff is cartilage, right? Like all of that stuff is cartilage. And then it's got the spine here is connected with like these almost leaf-like bones connecting it. It's really, and then this must be connected via all like tissues and fats and stuff, muscle, and that's wild. It doesn't look like any other bone structure I've ever seen. You know what I mean? The sunfish lacks a swim bladder, an internal gas-filled organ that contributes to the ability of many bony fish to control their buoyancy. Okay. Some sources indicate that internal organs contain a concentrated neurotoxin, tetrodotoxin, like the organs of other poisonous tetroodontiforms, while others dispute this claim. So they don't have a little gas bubble that helps them float, right? Helps them stay buoyant so they don't sink. But they might have concentrated neurotoxin. That's wild. So they might be poisonous, low-key. On the down low, they might be deadly. That's cool. Fins. In the course of its evolution, the caudal fin of the sunfish disappeared to be replaced by a lumpy pseudotail, the clavus. This structure is formed by the convergence of the dorsal and anal fins and is used by the fish as a rudder. The smooth denticled clavus retains 12 fin rays and terminates in a number of rounded ossicles. So that's right here. This right here. So ocean sunfish often swim near the surface, and their protruding dorsal fins are sometimes mistaken for those of sharks. However, the two can be distinguished by the motion of the fin. Unlike most fish, the sunfish swings its dorsal fin and anal fin in the characteristic sculling motion. Man, this fish got a lot going on. Like, this is a complicated fish. Most of them, you know, you just swim around, you know. This dude's going, he's going a little too hard, you know. He's trying a little too much, I'd say. This fish needs to calm down. Like, he's got a whole section about his skin. What? Adult sunfish range from brown to silvery gray or white, with a variety of region-specific mottled skin patterns. Coloration is often darker on the dorsal fin, fading to a lighter shade ventrally as a form of countershading camouflage. Is it so? That's kind of like the great white shark. You know how they have like the top of them is dark and the bottom is white. That's so like if you're above it, it just looks like if you're a fish and you're above the great white shark, it just looks like the water, like the bottom of the ocean, like there's just darker water, you know. But if you're under it, it's white, so it looks like the sky. So this has the same thing. It's very interesting. And yeah, you can see it right here, like the white on the bottom and darker on top. That's cool. That's a really cool evolutionary thing to me. The color changes because that straight up just happened like natural selection. So like it proves that it does make a difference, which is cool to me. Mola also exhibits the ability to vary skin coloration from light to dark, especially when under attack. What? The skin, which contains large amounts of reticulated collagen, can be up to 7.3 centimeters, 2 3/4 inches thick on the ventral surface, and is covered by denticles and a layer of mucus instead of scales. So, kind of like a catfish. They don't have scales, they got a thick mucus on them. The skin on the clavis is smoother than that on the body, where it can be as rough as sandpaper. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that just like looking at the little dude. Like I wouldn't expect that his skin would be rough, you know? I'm expecting a little like baby's bottom smooth type deal going on, you know what I mean? But what is this they can vary skin coloration, especially when under attack? Did we just skip over that? Did we just skip over that they're basically octopi or chameleons? We're just going to move on from that. Okay, alright, that works. More than 40 species of parasites may reside on the skin and internally, motivating the fish to seek relief in a number of ways. One of the most frequent ocean sunfish parasites is the flatworm. In temperate regions, drifting kelp fields harbor cleaner wrasses. Oh, that's the little cleaning fish that we see in like you see it in like little cartoons all the time. And other fish which remove parasites from the skin of visiting sunfish. In the tropics, M. mola solicits cleaning help from reef fishes by basking on its side at the surface. The sunfish also allows seabirds to feed on parasites from its skin. Sunfish have been reported to breach, clearing the surface by approximately 10 feet, 3 meters, in an apparent effort to dislodge embedded parasites. Hold up. How is this big of a fish getting enough speed and momentum to breach the surface by 10 feet? That would be so cool to see, dude. That would be awesome to watch, bro. That would be so cool, don't you think? Range and behavior. Okay. Ocean sunfish are native to the temperate and tropical waters of every ocean in the world. Every ocean in the world. Okay. Mola genotypes appear to vary widely between the Atlantic and Pacific, but generally differences between individuals in the northern and southern hemisphere are minimal. Although early research suggested sunfish moved around mainly by drifting with ocean currents, individuals have been recorded swimming 26 kilometers, 16 miles in a day, and a cruising speed of 3.2 kilometers or 1.7 knots per hour. So they've got to be able to have a burst speed. Like if they're breaching, like it said, if it breached by 10 feet, it has to be able to like dart, you know what I mean, for short distances, like a little sprint. Cool. While this might be the case most of the time, they're also capable of moving rapidly when feeding or avoiding predators. Oh, it's almost like I just said that. To the extent that they can vertically leap out of the water. Contrary to the perception that sunfish spend much of their time basking at the surface, M. mola adults actually spend a large portion of their lives actively hunting at the depths greater than 200 meters. Whoa. That's 660 feet deep, occupying both the epipelagic and mesopelagic zones. That's crazy. I did not know that they went like they were that deep. That's cool. Sunfish are most often found in water warmer than 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Prolonged periods spent in water at temperatures of 12 degrees, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, or lower can lead to disorientation and eventual death. Surface basking behavior, in which a sunfish swims on its side, presenting its largest profile to the sun, may be a method of thermally recharging following dives into deeper, colder waters in order to feed. Love me some thermoregulation, I gotta be honest. Sightings of the fish in colder waters outside of its usual habitat, such as those southwest of England, may be evidence of increasing marine temperatures, although the proximity of England's southwestern coast to the Gulf Stream means that many of these sightings may also be the result of the fish being carried to Europe by the current. Sunfish are usually found alone, but occasionally in pairs. How do you reproduce if you're always alone? Been asking myself that question for a while. The diet of the ocean sunfish was formerly thought to consist primarily of various jellyfish. However, genetic analysis reveals that sunfish are actually generalist predators that consume largely small fish, fish larvae, squid, and crustaceans, with jellyfish and salps making up around 15% of the diet. Occasionally, they will ingest eelgrass. Ooh, that's cool looking grass. This range of food items indicates that the sunfish feeds at many levels, from the surface to deep water and occasionally down to the sea floor. That's cool. So they're omnivores. Most big animals are omnivores. I mean, you think like bears, you know? It's the only example I can come up with. Bears are omnivores, so you know that means something. Life cycle. Ocean sunfish may live up to 10 years in captivity, but their lifespan in a natural habitat has not yet been determined. Their growth rate remains undetermined. However, a young specimen at the Monterey Bay Aquarium increased in weight from 26 to 399 kilograms, 57 to 880 pounds, and reached a height of nearly 5 feet 11 inches, 1.8 meters, in 15 months? Holy crap. 830 pounds, basically, in 15 months. What are you feeding that guy? Some genetically modified stuff, I bet. Holy crap. What is in the water at the Monterey Bay Aquarium? The sheer size and thick skin of an adult of the species deters many smaller predators, but younger fish are vulnerable to predation by bluefin tuna and mahi-mahi. Adults are consumed by orcas, sharks, and sea lions. The mating practices of the ocean sunfish are poorly understood, but spawning areas have been suggested in the North Atlantic, South Atlantic, North Pacific, South Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Females are estimated to be carrying as many as 300 million eggs. That's so crazy. More than any other known vertebrate. Sunfish eggs are released into the water and externally fertilized by sperm. I figured they would be externally fertilized. Most fish do external fertilization. So like what I'm gonna take a guess at, as it says, it doesn't really know this, but if you have like a spawning area, I mean, if you're releasing 300 million eggs, a spawning area could be miles. Like, you could have tens of miles, honestly, of like multiple females. So if multiple females come into this 10 square miles of ocean, right, and multiple female sunfish come in and release 300 million, so that would be like, let's say they release 1.8 billion. Then males would come in and release gallons of sperm, and it would all dissipate, and you hope that you find each other. That would be my guess. Newly hatched sunfish larvae are only 2.5 meters, 3/32 of an inch long, and weigh less than 1 gram. They develop into fry, and those which survive can grow up to 60 million times their original weight before reaching adult proportions, arguably the most extreme size growth in any vertebrate animal. Oh, wow, that is crazy, dude. Sunfish fry with large pectoral fins, a tail fin body, and body spines, uncharacteristic of adult sunfish, resemble miniature pufferfish, their close relatives. Young sunfish school for protection, but this behavior is abandoned as they grow. That's so cool that they're like that closely related to pufferfish. Like, because if you show me a pufferfish and then show me an ocean sunfish, there's no way that I would be like, those two are closely related. For sure, yeah, no doubt. Like, that's so cool. And also 60 million times their original weight as adults. Like, the growth rate of these things is insane. That's awesome. Genome. In 2016, researchers from China National Gene Bank and A-Star, Singapore, including Nobel laureate Sidney Brenner, sequenced the genome of an ocean sunfish and discovered several genes which might explain its fast growth rate and large body size. As members of the order Tetradotoda like fugu, the sunfish has quite a compact genome. At 730 MB, what does MB stand for? I'm guessing it's base pairs? Megabases? I don't know what the M, like usually it would say like 730 BP is in base pairs of DNA, but MB in size. Analysis from the data suggests that sunfish and pufferfish diverged approximately 68 million years ago, which corroborates the results of other recent studies based on smaller datasets. Human interaction, that is a big fish, my guy. A sunfish caught in 1910 with an estimated weight of 1,600 kilograms, 3,500 pounds. Despite their size, ocean sunfish are docile and pose no threat to human divers. Injuries from sunfish are rare, although a slight danger exists from large sunfish leaping out of the water onto boats. That's so cool. In one instance, a sunfish landed on a 4-year-old boy when the fish leaped into the boy's family boat. And that's slightly less cool. Areas where they are commonly found are popular destinations for sport dives, and sunfish at some locations have reportedly become familiar with divers. They're showing signs of intelligence beyond our comprehension. They are more of a problem to boaters than to swimmers, as they can pose a hazard to watercraft due to their large size and weight. Collisions with sunfish are common in some parts of the world and can cause damage to the hull of a boat or to the propellers of larger ships as well as to the fish. Yeah, I think the fish is going to take more damage than the boat, to be completely honest. The flesh of the ocean sunfish is considered a delicacy in some regions, the largest markets being Taiwan and Japan. All parts of the sunfish are used in cuisine, from the fins to the internal organs. Some parts are used in some areas of traditional medicine. Fishery products derived from sunfish are forbidden in the European Union, according to Regulation 843, 2004, of the European Parliament and of the Council, as they contain toxins that are harmful to human health. Okay, so that's the neurotoxins that they were talking about might or might not be in the fish. Sunfish are accidentally but frequently caught in drift gillnet fisheries, making up nearly 30% of the total catch of the swordfish fishery, employing drift gillnets in California. The bycatch rate is even higher for the Mediterranean swordfish industry, with 71% to 90% of the total catch being sunfish. Wow. So the people who use the gillnets are usually swordfish fishermen, but they catch a lot of sunfish. Interesting. The fishery bycatch and destruction of ocean sunfish are unregulated worldwide. In some areas, the fish are finned by fishermen who regard them as worthless bait thieves. This process, in which the fins are cut off, results in the eventual death of the fish because it can no longer propel itself without its dorsal and anal fins. The species is also threatened by floating litter, such as plastic bags, which resemble jellyfish, a common prey. Bags can choke and suffocate the fish or fill its stomach to the extent that it starves. Bro, who is out here cutting off the poor fish's fins, dude? Y'all need to find some mental health. Or help. Mental health help. Yeah. Because that's messed up, bro. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to mop the floor with you. Many areas of sunfish biology remain poorly understood, and various research efforts are underway, including aerial surveys of populations, satellite surveillance using pop-off satellite tags, genetic analysis of tissue samples, and collection of amateur sighting data. A decrease in sunfish populations may be caused by more frequently bycatch and the increasing popularity of sunfish in human diet. Well, I've never eaten a sunfish. Like, I kind of want to, but then also, like, they're like working their way onto the endangered species list, because that's what humans do best, is they ruin the world around them. Right? Yeah. Cool. In captivity. See? Ruining the world around us. Let's take these majestic fish in the ocean and let's shove them in a small cage so we can look at them. Sunfish are not widely held in aquarium exhibits due to the unique and demanding requirements of their care. I would assume that they eat a lot. Some Asian aquaria display them, particularly in Japan. The Kaiyukan Aquarium in Osaka is one of the few aquariums with M. mola on display, where it is reportedly as popular an attraction as the larger whale sharks. The Lisbon Oceanarium in Portugal has sunfish showcased in the main tank, and in Spain, the Valencia Oceanográfica has specimens of sunfish. The ocean sunfish is also on display at the Denmark Nordsjön Oceanarium. Denmark? Why Denmark? In Kamogawa SeaWorld, the ocean sunfish named Kuki, who started captivity in 1982, set a world record for captivity for 2,993 days, living for 8 years. Kuki was 72 centimeters at the time of delivery, 2.36 feet, but was 187 centimeters at the time of his death, 6.14 feet. While the first ocean sunfish to be held in an aquarium in the United States is said to have arrived at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in 1986, other specimens have previously been held at other locations. Marineland of the Pacific, closed since 1987, and located on the Palos Verdes Peninsula in Los Angeles, California, held at least one ocean sunfish by 1961, and in 1964 held a 290 kilogram, 650 pound specimen, said to be the largest ever captured at that time. However, another 450 kilogram, 1,000 pound specimen was brought alive to Marineland Studios Aquarium near St. Augustine, Florida in 1941. Because sunfish had not been kept in captivity on a large scale before, the staff at Monterey Bay was forced to innovate and create their own methods for capture, feeding, and parasite control. By 1999, these issues were overcome, and the aquarium was able to hold a specimen for more than a year, later releasing it after its weight increased by more than 14 times. Holy crap. That fish, definitely died. Imagine you're a fish, right? You're swimming around, you're getting lobsters and crustaceans, you're eating jellyfish, you're constantly searching for food, then you're sunbathing, then you're jumping out of the water to get your parasites off, and then you get, grabbed by these weird hairless apes and put in a small container and just given food for a year, and then they just put you back in the ocean. I feel like that wouldn't go well. I feel like it's a bad idea. Mola mola has since become a permanent feature of the open sea exhibit. Monterey Bay Aquarium's largest sunfish specimen was euthanized on February 14, 2008 after an extended period of poor health. That's so sad. A major concern to curators at preventative measures taken to keep specimens in captivity from injuring themselves by rubbing against the walls of a tank, since ocean sunfish cannot easily maneuver their bodies. In a smaller tank, hanging a vinyl curtain has been used as a stopgap measure to convert a cuboid tank to a rounded shape and prevent the fish from scraping against the sides. A more effective solution is simply to provide enough room for the sunfish to swim in wide circles. The tank must also be sufficiently deep to accommodate the vertical height of a sunfish, which may reach 10.6 feet. Yeah. God, so is anybody else getting sad reading this section? A fish that has the whole ocean, like the entirety of the ocean, and then you put them in a tank that they can't even swim circles in because it's too small for them to maneuver around. God. Feeding captive sunfish in a tank with faster moving, more aggressive fish can also present a challenge. Eventually, the fish can be taught to respond to a floating target to be fed and to take food from the end of a pole or from human hands. Crazy. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the sunfish, and that is a 45-minute recording. I learned a lot. This is really cool. Now I have so much to talk about ocean sunfish to people. People are going to be so interested when I talk to them about how female ocean sunfish can produce up to 300 million eggs at a time, and that ocean sunfish are one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing vertebrae in the world. That's wild. It's really cool. And they have a lot of cartilage. They have the fewest amount of vertebrae for any fewest amount to vertebrae size ratio compared to any vertebrae fish. That's so cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I really did. I found it very interesting. This kind of stuff really interests me. Like, I'm a big biology guy. I mean, I'm majoring in biology. I like biology. So this stuff really interests me. Just like how they're related to pufferfish. I might have to bring that up in my sunfish conversation too. The ocean sunfish, which can grow up to 5,000 pounds, is closely related to the pufferfish. That's so dope, man. Alright, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I really did. Thank you so much for watching. Smash like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Make someone else's day better. And I will see all of y'all later.